Who is the biggest joke in all of sports? Some people might argue the Washington Generals, which is the team that the Harlem Globetrotters always play against. They travel together and the Harlem Globetrotters always win against them because the Generals are just there to have fun with the Globetrotters in order to make a spectacle out of the whole thing. They're kind of designed to lose. But they're not the biggest joke in sports. That honor belongs to one man in particular. His name is Dillon Danis. This goofball is someone you might have heard of because he's that coward that started a lot of shit with KSI, and then the second that it reached the fuck around and find out moment, like a week before they were actually supposed to fight, Dillon Danis backs out and weasels his way out of it, coming up with all kinds of pathetic little excuses, and then still tries to act tough. He's a washed up fighter who all he does now is just shit talk and then promotes scams on Twitter. People have more respect for the flies that hover around public porta potties at a fucking music festival than they do this man and his career. And yet somehow he finds a way to sink even lower. He was recently the primary clown in CoffeeZilla's newest video, where he got used like a fleshlight by CoffeeZilla in order to prove a point that Dillon Danis will promote absolutely anything at all as long as you pay him. And it turns out you don't even really have to pay him that much, all things considered. Just giving him a pack of cigarettes will get you like a 24-hour tweet promoting whatever vile scam you want. Like, it's actually pretty wild. So CoffeeZilla's video exposes at least 20 scams that he's done in his past, as well as convincing him to do yet another one, you know, hop back in the saddle, get ready for the rodeo, and engage in another scam tweet that CoffeeZilla cooked up with a completely fake crypto project. And he wanted to see how much does Dillon charge, and does he do any amount of research at all into the things that he proudly posts on his Twitter. I know Dillon Danis can't even spell research, so the answer isn't shocking. It's a no. He didn't bother looking into what CoffeeZilla was paying him to promote at all, because if he did, if he spent even 3 seconds, or even just like an iota of a thought given to the project, he would have immediately realized that it's not real and it is a scam that he's about to post proudly on his Twitter. Because CoffeeZilla laid it all out in front of him. And it's not even like it was hidden in plain sight or anything. He literally spelled it out, word for word. In a contract he sent to Dillon Danis, it even says that it's not real and you're going to be the butt of a joke. It was literally, it was just there in the contract, and it wasn't even a long contract like buried in fine print. It was like a core piece of the contract that just says, this is basically a fucking scam, and Dillon still signed it. It's baffling. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm just trying to give a general breakdown of the situation. Of course, the full CoffeeZilla video is going to be linked in the description. It's fucking beautiful per usual. I'm just going to show you some clips from it. But one other thing I want to point out is the reason CoffeeZilla went after Dillon Danis is because Dillon made a whole song and dance, a big hoopla about how bad he feels for everyone that got scammed by Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo. And that's what tipped everyone off to how many scams he himself has done, which led to this investigation in this video by CoffeeZilla, Oompaville, and ZachXBT. And it's a fucking amazing ride. It really is.
Dillon Danis is an MMA fighter famous for two things: cage fighting and not fighting KSI.
True.
But on December 23rd, he decided to be famous.
Also, apparently, I didn't know this until recently. He's not even famous for actually fighting. He's famous for just being a guy that, like, kind of rides Conor McGregor's dick. What's his actual fighting record? Because I said the same thing. I'm like, yeah, he actually fights. But his actual MMA record is 2-0. He has fought 2 times. Once in 2018 and once in 2019. Look at this shit. So he's not really a fighter. he's fought twice. Like, his whole claim to fame is, yeah, I'm a fucking stupid asshole. And that's it. And he won't even fight a YouTuber. 100% win rate, that is true. He is undefeated. But then again, so am I in MMA, to be fair. I am also undefeated. It's kind of meaningless when you don't have a whole lot of fights under your belt.
Calling out the scammers. He writes in a tweet, "Damn, Logan Paul is a scumbag. Feel bad for everyone he scammed." Now, of
Thanks,
course,
Dillon.
I was going to really disagree with this, so the likes rolled in. But what Dillon doesn't
What a
tell you
saint.
is he also has a history of scamming people on Twitter. And what Dillon didn't know is that there was a detective watching him. That detective was not me, actually. I wish it was me. It was my buddy ZachXBT on Twitter who said, "Damn, Dillon Danis is a scumbag.
Hey, this is all coming full circle. You might remember Zach from the BitBoy crypto thing. He was the guy that like tracked all of his moonshots and like called out a whole bunch of shit there.
So I reached back out to Zach and I said, hey, good tweet, but I want to find out how many scams exactly this guy has promoted. So Zach started digging through the garbage bin of deleted tweets, and we found out pretty quick there were a lot more.
What the fuck is it? Baby Dinger? What the fuck? Baby Dinger token is the next Shiba Inu. Oh man. If anyone has any baby dingers, you should immediately just lose the right to earn money in your life. You don't deserve it anymore. Ring dinger. Hey, let's not besmirch the good name of the ring dinger. That's as far from Web3 crypto as you get. That is literally an old man who snaps your head off.
I wanted to trick Dylan into giving me the amount. The rough idea was to approach
Smart.
Dylan and say, hey, I created this dumb NFT project that's completely fake. How much would it cost for you to promote it? He gives me an answer and I have my price. Who looked like he would be serious about selling you an NFT collection. And that's when I thought of my buddy Oompaville.
Yes.
This is a guy who's actually really sweet in real life.
I did know Oompaville played a big role in this here. So that is exciting. Very smart. CoffeeZilla recognized that Dylan would certainly say no, knowing for sure that it's a honeypot if it was CoffeeZilla that reached out. So he used Oompaville, whom, I mean, that looks like a well-adjusted man to me. Like, that's a trustworthy face right there. So he used him as the proxy. That's genius.
We can provide all the marketing copy. Please let me know, as we're trying to launch relatively soon. That website is not a real crypto NFT platform. Nothing in this video is a crypto or real NFT, so
yeah,
you cannot buy
obviously,
crypto. I want to be super clear, because Dylan immediately responds with, want to do a tweet? And then I love this next part. What is it? I like the order of that, you know, like, let's promote it. And then underneath it, what am I promoting? And it's at this point I realized that
it's secondary.
This is not only my chance to find out how much Dylan gets paid for all these scam promotions, it's also my chance to test Dylan Dennis. In fact, to do this, I basically copied almost word for word CryptoZoo's white paper, saying the following.
Baby.
Sour.gg may appear to solely function as an NFT collection, but it's much, much more. Sour allows users to earn sweet tokens that are openly traded via a yield that is based on the rarity of a given candy NFT.
I'm going to tell you right now, Coffee, I love the attention to detail here. I think that is super smart. I'm not convinced Dylan Dennis can read. I think he might be illiterate. So he just saw words on the page and he's like, man, this is legit. All these words, they have meaning, I have no doubt. I'm in. I'm confident he had no fucking clue what anything in that white paper said. But I appreciate you went the extra mile and set it up that way for it.
Look out, adventurer. Now this is a sentence which means nothing unless you lay it out by the first letter of every word. And then it spells CoffeeZilla.
Oh!
So, don't say I didn't warn him. And obviously,
that's way too smart for Dylan.
Dylan Dennis surely wouldn't promote a CryptoZoo project, right? Because he's, you know, he feels too bad for the victim. And then ETH? Question mark? And at this point, I'm just a little surprised by how easy this all is. Zero due diligence is
I'm not surprised at all.
Here. We have created the weakest facade possible for an NFT scam, and he's just immediately on board. After we settled on that, he sent me payment information.
I am shocked he can even get 5K for a tweet. His Twitter isn't exactly what you'd call booming. The only time he gets engagement is when people are laughing at him. Like here, let me go to his Twitter real quick. Let's see, what's his most recent tweet? Because he deleted this one, I remember that. His most recent one is, if Alexander Volkanovsky beats... okay, it's a fight. I'll give one person who likes this tweet $1,500 and must be following to win. So he's actually having to do he has to farm. He has to do giveaway farming. But before that, it's literally nothing. And he got 8K likes on the farm. So even by those standards, that's pretty low. So I'm shocked that he's actually asking 5K. Though I doubt many people are actually giving it to him.
Dylan gave us a brand new crypto wallet just for this transaction.
Whoa!
Which seems to imply that he probably makes new wallets for every new deal he does, which is
definitely not his own idea.
And at this point, I realized I had a choice to make.
Someone told him to do that.
Take what I learned, present it to you guys, and stop this little charade I had with Dylan and make my video. And Dylan would just keep doing this because his fans wouldn't know.
Wait,
Or,
what was that
like
last one? Was that Face Riders? What the fuck? Did I read that correctly? Right before Baby Dinger.
And Dylan would just keep doing this.
Oh, I'm writing with Faceless. Gotcha. I thought that said Face Riders. I was like, damn, another fucking wild one.
Because his fans wouldn't know. Which is actually pay Dylan to post a link to our fake NFT project. But the twist would be, as soon as he posts that link, it will become a website dedicated to every scam tweet Dylan Danis has ever done. And remember that this website would be linked by Dylan Danis himself to all of his fans until he kept the tweet for certain periods of time. And to my surprise, he agreed to the terms. And
that's smart. That's super smart. Yeah, so space it out so that way you can get the most juice for the squeeze here off the tweet staying live. I can also promise you, Dylan Danis has no idea what any of these words he's using here mean. He's used too much punctuation. There's 2 periods in there. That's far more than his reading level permits. He's got percentage sign in there, some underlines, parentheses. Dylan Danis tapped out once he saw payment structure. He's like, all right, payment. I know that one. Okay, whatever else.
Website, which is just a website with all his previous transgressions. Now, I did talk to some
I want to read that one. What was that? I'm bullish on what? These all have the worst names. I'm bullish on Rock Smart Chain. Rocket Raccoon. Hype.
From ZachXBT, he found over 20 projects that Dylan promoted and then tried deleting, where many of them were rug pulls and scams. It was at this point
I drew up a contract for Dylan to sign before this whole thing goes live.
He didn't read it.
And in it, I lay the whole thing out. And this is what I meant by headwinds. This is where he probably will catch us, because in black and white, I lay out our whole scheme right in front of him. So it literally says, like, you're going to be the butt of the joke. It says people aren't doing due diligence. It says that we're going to be switching the website to show his prior promotions. So we lay out the whole thing there.
Oh, no.
What we're really banking on is he's not going to read any of this. He's just going to see money and just sign it, which is the 100% whole point of this entire thing.
He can't read it.
I think it fits.
Sending it. All right. And then I'm sending the drive link.
I mean, we've sent the contract now. We're just waiting. We're literally waiting.
Yeah.
He's going to instantly respond with the sign. It's going to be less than 2 minutes.
Oh, I agree, bro. I agree.
It was 3 minutes. I was so fucking close. I was so close.
Idiot.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He agreed.
I was so close.
You might notice that we weren't actually able to use DocuSign and get his signature because it was experiencing outages at the moment, the actual website. But we were able to just have him do a written agreement in DMs that he agreed to our terms. And although
that is real, by the way. If you get in writing something like that, that is actually an enforceable thing. It's not as strong as like a full signature, but that is like actually enforceable. So, what a fucking moron. Holy shit.
go ahead and tweet.
Just refreshing now, I guess. See what he says.
Run
There's
it.
so much work that goes into this. You guys didn't see this off camera. Dylan starts talking about, where's your community? So we have to whip up this community from nowhere.
Oh, fuck.
Our community doesn't exist. We had to create a Twitter profile. We had to buy a bunch of botted followers.
An hour ago, it didn't exist.
I don't think I've ever been so excited about something in my life.
Nice.
Dude.
What was the total spend on this, I imagine?
He tweeted it.
Huge.
I can't believe he did it.
He actually did it. He just tweeted it.
What an idiot. What? I can't believe it. What can I say?
So I knew this tidbit of information real quick before he points it out. The actual tweet just has the word scam in it. Sour NFT candies are moonbound. Scam.
Believe it.
It's so adorable.
What can I say?
They couldn't have made it
a
any more
tweet
clear.
Which literally spells out in first letters the word scam.
Yep.
I hope this is...
Oh man, Dylan. Now he's ducking CoffeeZilla and Oompaville's attempt to communicate just like he ducked KSI's fight. God damn. It's all he knows. Yeah, he'll never mention this, unfortunately. That's his modus operandi. He just is a fucking perpetual loser, I guess. Oh, I did see that. There was a lot of brain rot takes about how what CoffeeZilla did is actual entrapment. And I'm pretty sure those people are just as CTE riddled as Dylan Dennis to think that what CoffeeZilla did is anything even remotely associated with entrapment. It's not even close. CoffeeZilla did everything possible to let Dylan know what was going on. He even put in the fucking contract he agreed to that it is literally him just being a joke. It's not real. He laid out everything, and he still agreed to it. That couldn't be further from entrapment. The guy got 1K. He did get 1K. He did get $1,000 out of it, so that's a Dylan W, baby. Fucking big one from Dylan! But also lost rep. He had none to begin with. I legitimately don't think Dylan Dennis has a single fan. Like, actually not a single one. People just laugh at him. In fact, if you go to his goddamn giveaway tweet right now, people aren't even participating in the actual giveaway. They're just spamming the clown emoji. Jesus Christ. He can't even, like, actively farm children on Twitter. He doesn't have fans. Yeah, I'm talking about scams again. I don't know what to tell you. Every single minute there's another scam born, and every 5 minutes there's another victim of a scam being taken advantage of. It is unreal, the current landscape of the internet with how rampant scams are. It's crazy. There are more active scammers on this planet than there are ants. It's just vile. Nowhere and no one is safe. I'm gonna make up a statistic real quick, and I want it to be an alarming one just to illustrate the intensity of the situation. 1 out of every 2 people in this world is either a scammer or a victim. So, sleep in fear. Now today I'm going to be going over a scammer that I'm pretty confident most of you haven't heard of. I only recently learned about them thanks to a YouTuber named Maddie Balls who made a great video exposing the whole situation and going over it thoroughly. So the link to the full video, of course, is going to be in the description of this one. I'm just going to show some of the clips and go over like the general broad strokes of what the scam is. It's a pretty interesting one, albeit nothing unique about it. But what I find interesting is their commitment to the facade. So the scammer is named Carter Jamison, and he's built his career, well, career is a term I'm using super loosely because it's an illusion of a career. Carter Jamison is an Instagram influencer, which again is a term that has no meaning at all. That is the biggest nothing fucking sandwich of a term. But he has 1 million followers on Instagram, almost all of which are botted, by the way. And he sells courses, which are like media packages in order to get you clout. The man is a literal clout vendor. He's an exposure goblin, and you pay him thousands of dollars for these packages to hopefully blow up your brand or increase your online presence. That's his whole hustle. He's a guru scammer. There's nothing unique there whatsoever. But what's impressive about Carter Jamison is his tenacity and persistence to prey on gullible kids and desperate adults. He seems to have been a born slimy weasel of a person because he's been scamming for quite some time now, and he's only 19 years old. This is a young man. He's like fresh out of high school and already a notorious scammer. In fact, he was one of the puppet masters behind Lana Rhoades' NFT scam from like 8 or 9 months ago, which I know a lot of you are probably familiar with because that was a huge scam. He was one of the people behind it that made off with $1.5 million in that rug pull. This was his first major scam, and I guess he must have really enjoyed the taste of shit in his mouth because he just continues to scam from here. It's only escalated. So not only does he do the press package shit where he like sells these $1,000 packages of like articles or whatever, he also does these very shady giveaways where I'm not entirely convinced people actually get the items they're supposed to receive from the giveaways. But even still, giveaways in and of themselves and the way that Carter Jamison does them are always sketchy because he's hiring rappers and pretending to be friends with them in order to promote the giveaway. So that way people start following the account and, you know, signing up, whatever, all that, under the idea that they're going to get this item, and also under the idea that the rapper that is there is a big supporter, so it must be legitimate, even though that's not exactly telling the whole story. Carter Jamison also has 2 other NFT scams that he has run since the Lana Rhoades one, so he's just been on this upward trajectory of thousands upon thousands of scams that he just keeps fucking spearheading. And like I said, he's only 19. I have to imagine he started doing this as a child, like an actual toddler. Like he probably opened a lemonade stand when he was 8 years old, but didn't actually sell lemonade. He sold water with like a hint of lemon in it because he wanted to save money on the lemons. So he just sold people the idea of lemonade. Like, I guarantee this guy's been scamming for a long time. Like, probably took notes out of Ed, Edd n Eddy when they were scamming for Jawbreakers. He probably was scamming around his middle school for, you know, $15, $20 off, like, a homework racket or something. Like, this kid seems to just thrive off taking advantage of people and lying. His whole personality is fake. So I'm going to go ahead and play clips from the video so that we can get a deeper understanding of exactly how all of it works. But this one is a pretty sad one. Like, he's 19 years old and he's already a piece of shit. Carter Jamieson. I'm unfamiliar with that name.
Carter Jamieson is someone who's been seen with Chief Keef, Kodak Black, Lil Durk, Bobby Shmurda, Summer Rae, Lil Yachty, Steve Will Do It, Cole Bennett, and many other celebrities. But how...
I'm going to just take a guess. Knowing nothing about this, he paid to take all of those pictures with those celebrities. He's a trust fund kid with a lot of access to money. So he puts on a front that he's actually a popular guy, like friends with all these rappers, and he uses it to try and promote. I'm just going to do crypto. I think crypto's easiest. Lock it in.
The digital marketing company Gateway Agency. But I think he's a liar. So to understand how this guy has made
Called
millions
out,
from
Jesus.
lying, misleading, and scamming, we have to dig a little bit deeper. Recently
Oh, actually, damn, fuck. I'm starting to change my mind. Maybe it's not crypto. Maybe he sells, like, courses. Maybe he's one of those gurus, like, get-rich-quick guru kind of shit. Because he's a 19-year-old entrepreneur, owner of Gateway Agency or some shit. Whatever other imaginary made-up garbage he comes up with. I'll stick it out on crypto. I won't backpedal.
getting a ton. Is he really even a scammer? Well,
I'm gonna go ahead and take a stab at it. He does not have all of these followers legitimately, 100% botted to a certain level. A lot of people on Instagram do that. How does this kid know all these people? He doesn't. He pays to be near them. And who is he? Just a kid with a lucky spawn, born to a wealthy family.
so Carter Jamieson is another one of those social media gurus you see online, but instead of selling you a course, he's selling you popularity. You might notice he has decent engagement and relationships with one who promises to scale your digital footprint to the...
My second guess was the right one. Son of a bitch. Yeah, maybe crypto's too outdated now. Everyone just immediately conflates anything meta, Web3, whatever with a scam. Rightfully so, by the way. Like, yeah, if he's a modern scammer, he would have had to adapt into the guru space, which is now the moneymaker.
actually proves his guiltiness. Botted engagement. Before his engagement increased 100 times because of Juice WRLD fans hate bombing him, he could be seen botting his account, as you can see from all these fake comments. And if that isn't proof enough,
no, this is really fire.
Out botted engagement
Shit's flames.
on one of his Twitter accounts. And here on his YouTube channel, you can see over 1,000 botted comments on one of his YouTube shorts that only has 600 likes. So it's safe to assume that he's botting likes and possibly followers.
They're just very passionate. They forgot to like.
I first saw on his website that he had a ton of articles and content, and another even says this story is paid for by an advertiser. Remember?
I actually had no idea that that shit was there. Obviously, a lot of journalism is paid content. Like, I mean, is what it is. I didn't know that they actually disclosed it in those cases. I thought they still kind of kept that under wraps. But I guess they also got hit by some new guidelines or something, or maybe I've just been oblivious to those notices.
Someone with a lot of followers, we tend to think they're legitimate.
The deception exists because the large follower numbers trick our brains into giving out credibility naturally from the social proof. More followers means more credibility, right?
But I don't think Carter's...
Maybe I'm being baselessly optimistic, but I feel like that perception's starting to waver a bit. It used to be bigger number, trustworthy person. That used to be the rule, but I think with crypto and everything, it's kind of shaken everyone's faith in that concept. So I'm hoping that's changing, because it feels like it kind of is, slowly but surely. But maybe I'm just wrong in wanting to believe. I like how the YouTuber is basically milking this guy's downfall for views and content. Why does everyone have to have, like, some kind of weird contrarian perspective on everything? This guy even said at the beginning, like, he was a very generous guy about this whole thing. He's just telling the story, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's just telling the story about this guy's hustle, which is a scam. It's so weird. What goes on in your mind to want to immediately take some kind of weird combative stance on someone just literally exposing a scammer? I don't get it. I actually don't understand it. It's just too easy to agree, so someone has to disagree even if they don't believe. I suppose, but I'm not here to be an armchair psychologist. I really just don't get it.
He uses a method called loop giveaways where he partners with popular people to give away items. Carter and probably others will spam DM people with details about the giveaway campaign. They show the estimated growth and how much it'll cost to buy into it, and the reason that account will be following all of the investors. So in return for their money, they will be receiving thousands of real followers. So when he gets that investor money, he buys the items for the giveaways, flies out to meet the influencer or the rapper, takes some pictures with them to make his Instagram look better, takes pictures for the giveaway, pays the influencer, and keeps a ridiculous amount of money for doing little to nothing. It really is an infinite money glitch. And the giveaways themselves aren't necessarily scams. They're not against Instagram.
It's like a social media STD.
And I think he actually does give away the items. He might not, I'm not sure. I have seen people say they haven't gotten their stuff. That might not be true. But we have, and his business offers a variety of other overpriced services. For example, you can buy different press packages that offer articles and other sorts of
For the low cost of $8,000, you can get the musician package, which is a 15 article package. Oh, whoa, and I missed the... Oh, that's the low end. What the fuck? The $20,000 value is so much better. It even has the word cheaper. It's the market domination press package, which is 20 mid-tier press package. How are you supposed to gain clout without spending 20 grand on this package? Holy shit, wait, all the answers are right here. This is the key to success. He's giving away the keys to the kingdom, holy fuck. And for the low cost of 20 grand?
Press, like this Google Knowledge Panel package, which costs $6,500 when you can do it for free yourself. Then in the description, he has the nerve to say, you must have 20 other notable articles.
Yeah.
He sells ad management, verification, websites, billboard advertisements, and more. And I'm going to take a random shot.
Why? Who is dumb enough to pay for a fucking billboard advertisement? Who in their right fucking mind is like, oh my god, the billboard package. I need it. I'm gonna blow up with a good billboard. I don't think a single human being of the last 10 years has looked at a billboard and actually signed up or even visited what it was advertising.
Especially because apparently they only accept payments through Cash App, which is very sketchy. And I guess he also used to sell paid shoutouts on his Instagram and then just delete them right away after you paid for it, which probably didn't really make a difference because most of his Instagram followers are either inactive or fake. And if none of this, the reason that I believe he is scamming when it comes to the giveaways and the influencer marketing is because he's been caught scamming before. Before Carter brought his scams to the rap community, he was exposed for being one of the masterminds behind Lana Rhoades, CryptoSys, NFT rug pull, where her, Carter, and some others made off with $1.5 million in Ethereum.
It's crazy. Somehow, anytime there's a scam, it's like this interconnected web. Like, all of the scammers that currently exist have always existed, and they've been part of all the other scams we've followed. What a throwback. What another reoccurring character. Another season that they're making an appearance in, another cameo.
There were 6,069 awful looking NFTs that were being marketed as an investment, and investors were promised that this was a long...
Unlike other pump and dump projects, we don't just plan on stopping after minting, so we actually have to be able to fund all that stuff.
They were hyping it up so much to the point where multiple people even got tattoos of the NFT and they were reposting it. Personally, I can't imagine knowingly scamming people, watching them get tattoos of the NFT and reposting it. So they...
I'll tell you one thing, I can absolutely imagine that. If you're one of those absolute bumbling idiots that buys into CryptoSys and you feel so strongly about it, you get a tattoo on your fucking thigh of the CryptoSys logo, you deserve to be laughed at. The scammer at that point, I'm on the scammer side. Laughing at you is like the least they can do. You've earned that shit. That's a fat fucking L. My god. Everything else I disagree with the scammer on, but laughing at people that do that, I actually completely agree.
$1.6 million was drained out of this mint for the NFTs one day after they sold the collection.
The reason that they did this is because apparently Lana's feelings got hurt by the negativity in the community, but obviously this was just an excuse to take the money. Tons of people in the community talk about this rug pull, so it's a pretty well-known scam, and somehow Carter still has a career. And this wasn't the first time that Lana... Right now, Carter has other NFT projects like Billionaire Butterfly Club, which I'm assuming is
I was kind of right. He is doing crypto scams.
Rug pull type of deal. But in
this is the fraternity apes party. Guys, everybody in this is in the highest level frat of the real life.
Fraternity Apes Party,
What
or
the
FAP
fuck?
for short, is an NFT
Cool.
project where the incentive isn't an investment, but it's that you could go to a cool party with tons of influencers and celebrities.
Oh, that's worth it.
NFT can get in. I doubt any of the people there owned one of these awful-looking NFTs. They somehow even got the Nelk Boys to show up, but they probably paid them too.
Yeah,
and then they actually
somehow they got Steve Will Do It there. The guy notorious for literally accepting anything that has a dollar bill attached to it. It's a mystery to me how the fuck Nelk ended up there. This kid, I'll crack the code. I think I was right initially. This kid came from money, and he used that money to buy himself an advantage, to put himself in the position so he could scam people easily by presenting himself as a popular influencer. So he did the crypto scams with Lana Rhoades. He's doing the guru scams right now with the gateway giveaways, and he's done, what, 2 other crypto-based scams with NFTs and shit? He's just one of those douchebags. Perpetually living in his father's shadow.
Fake lifestyle. The rappers and the other people partnering with him, or more likely their management, should probably look a little bit more into who they're partnering with.
Why would they do that?
At the money they're going to receive, because then they end up associating with a bunch of scammers, which doesn't really make them look good.
Yeah, but their audience doesn't care. This was a great video. Good shit, Matty Balls. Yeah, I didn't know anything about this guy. This is an interesting story. Hold on, I want to look something up right now. This video is not very old, right? It's like 2 months old. Has he addressed this? His whole Instagram is fucking rough. But yeah, it's just shit like this. It's just him holding money. I don't even think people buy his course, I'll just say it. I think people are not dumb enough to fall for someone like this. You'd be surprised. I guess, but his prices are outrageous. $8,000 all the way up to $20,000. Like, nobody can afford those packages. Like, the only people in his audience that might not be aware it's a scam are actual teenagers that are just blinded by, like, TikTok clout and an overwhelming, insatiable desire for attention. They can't afford $8,000 packages, and certainly not the $20,000 package. So, like, who the fuck is his audience? Or, rather, his clients. No one can afford that shit. You underestimate the stupidity of the average adult. I really don't. I feel like of most people in the world, I am usually pretty on the mark with how dumb people can be. This is just out of the price range of stupid people. And certainly out of the price range of stupid kids. You were surprised by the age of CryptoZoo victims. I was very surprised by that. You are correct. That one did catch me off guard. I wouldn't have expected adults to be in the Logan Paul audience, let alone falling for a Logan Paul NFT project. But that was a low barrier of entry for them. This is an extremely high barrier. Especially for very little return. Meet the 18-year-old who's the CEO of a successful social media agency. And then right underneath that, this is paid for by the advertiser. Ah, so it's trustworthy then, huh? Surely this will be an unbiased look at his story. Let's see. More than the stunning content, he wanted to explore the algorithm that leads the influencers to a staggering number of followers. After 6 years of grinding with Instagram, Jameson was finally successful in decoding the algorithm to earn over 1 million followers. He decoded it, he was in the mainframe, and then he found the secret, which is his daddy's credit card to buy bots. Little botted followers. Fucking genius. Holy shit, this guy's good. He's a savant. He's like the Mozart of Instagram. Because he never did anything. Well, no, I just wanted to know about, like, his parents. Like, usually in these kind of cases, they always try to be that person that pulls themselves up by their own bootstraps. Like, I came from nothing. My dad was a normal blue-collar worker, just a true red-blooded American patriot working 2 jobs to put food on the table for me and my 6 brothers. And my mom also had to work night shifts down at the local cemetery. Like, I don't know. Usually just like some kind of sob story. So like, people like relate to it somehow and like put him on a pedestal of, wow, he did it himself. But he didn't even bother with that step. Do all scammers usually come from a rich family? I wouldn't say all of them. That'd be a disservice to say all of them. But I would argue a good 85 to 90% of all scammers do come from a very privileged background. At least in the digital age. Yeah, unfortunately the title of the video is not misleading. Mr. Lonely himself, Akon, is behind a massive scam. If any of you watching grew up in the 90s or early 2000s, I'm sure that name rings a lot of bells because Akon is an artist who was responsible for some absolutely iconic boner jams back in the day. And a few years ago, he decided to pitch a city, Akon City, which would be powered by the blockchain and have their own form of currency called Acoin. And I've got to tell you, the design documents here, the blueprints, the renders of what Akon City could look like are so outrageous it almost makes the Willy Wonka experience look like a good idea. I feel like everyone who takes even a glance at the proposed Akon City documents will immediately write it off as being impossible and just a load of baloney. And they'd be 100% right in that assumption. This will never happen. This city looks like something out of Final Fantasy. It's just not really feasible. Yet, Akon, as well as other collaborators, are doing their best to try and make it a reality. Though after years of work, the only thing they have to show for it is a single welcome center that has a graffitied picture of Akon on the side. And it doesn't really welcome you to anything because there's nothing to show for it. It just welcomes you to something that's emptier than my colon after eating Greek yogurt first thing in the morning. It takes you to basically just an empty field, though there is a single building skeleton there that has a staircase and that's it, and then just a bunch of cattle roaming freely. So there is no real progress being made on Akon City, and it really seems like from the beginning this was supposed to be just either a full-blown scam or just a narcissistic ego piece for Akon. Because it makes no sense why Akon would introduce a cryptocurrency to Akon City when a lot of African regions already use cryptocurrency in their day-to-day lives. If he was really trying to make this a real thing that wasn't just trying to take advantage and exploit people, it would have made more sense for him to just use the already established Bitcoin or Ethereum, which is prevalent throughout Africa. But instead he introduced his own cryptocurrency and said, "I am the bank." He also is the douchebag behind Acoin fucking a ton of early investors. So they actually did sell Acoin, and a lot of people bought into it, and then it immediately collapsed. It went from a 132% gain to a 60% loss, and then started offering refunds. And all these investors, when trying to get their refund, basically just got cold-shouldered and never got their refunds for this. They basically just got rugged like everyone else with the crypto boom a few years ago. But anyway, I recommend checking out Patrick Cece's video for an in-depth look at a lot of what went on behind the scenes at Akon City and Akon himself here. I want to show you what Akon City was supposed to look like and how fucking stupid this entire project seems just from like an outside perspective. It really looks like an impossible to complete task that somehow Akon promised would be done by 2024, and yet all they have right now is like a bare bones welcome center and like a single like skeleton of another building. That's about as bad as the Soulja Boy Game Boy. Okay, show a little respect for the Soulja console. Also, Akon City is so much worse than just releasing a fraudulent game console. It is disgusting to compare the two. Akon's City is like the most egregious over-the-top scam. Like, it's so much worse. Akon actually has a video showcasing it. Look up, "This is Akon City." I don't think I ever saw this. I only ever read about Akon City. So here's the entertainment district. What are these? These aren't even buildings. This looks like when you go into Roller Coaster Tycoon and fuck up the terrain. Who's your architect? This is what it looks like when you like actually trip acid for the first time. It's even bad CG. Yeah. It's melted. Yeah, I guess their chief architect is Salvador Dali. Brought him back with the Akon City in-house necromancer. The Tech District? What does this mean? Tech 003421? What tech what? What is the tech? What are they doing here? Lex Luthor live here or something? What does this mean? What does it mean? Butt Plug City. Yeah, I mean, not wrong. This all does look like something you'd find on Bad Dragon. Health and safety. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, wait, it's this building. I thought he just reused Tech 001 here for the health and safety building, but it's this building. They're just side by side. Yeah. This is the police station here. They inhabit this pack of hot dogs. Here's the fire department, which is conveniently placed in the worst possible position for them to get anywhere, because they're going to have to navigate this minefield, this fucking labyrinth. Good luck having a quick response time from the firefighters. Unspecified office building, I guess. Residential building. General hospital. Outpatient clinic. This is another residential building. Just this coral. Game name. Oh no, this is a city. This is a Akon City in real life. Apparently they actually did build a building though, so I'm gonna have to check that out. I never saw this video go up for it. Education district. This is Education 1, Education 2, Education 3. So I'm guessing this is pre-K, kindergarten, middle school, high school, and then everyone parks here in this teardrop, and then another residential building. Osmosis Jones type landscape. Bro modeled the city from the mitochondria. Yeah, true. So here's the Scenewood district. Oh, here, Akon Tower. He's even got his own, like, Avengers building. So this is where Akon lives, and only Akon. Wait, wasn't this in the Tech District? Isn't this building already occupied by Tech? Am I misremembering the layout? It might be too sophisticated for my tiny little reptile brain, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the Tech buildings. Oh no, it's right here. It's right above Tech 4. Then a bunch of filming studios, more residential buildings, some more office buildings, and this random media tower, I guess. Looks like a cactus theme park. Yeah. Convenient location. All of this looks like Hitachi wands. It looks less like butt plugs, and it legitimately looks like the things you'd see in porn. Those, like, really, ribby wands. Looks like Cryptoland 2.0. Well, apparently it's powered by the blockchain, so it kind of is Cryptoland 2.0. I have to imagine whoever put this presentation together was actually laughing so hard as they charged Akon an exorbitant amount for it. Yeah, I'll throw this piece of shit together for like, I don't know, like $3 million bucks. Done. Shake my hand. Looks like a pretty cool place to live. I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's just random JPEGs that are floating through on this building, but how could you not smile if you lived in a place like Akon City? Alright, let's see the current Akon City. Do we really need an explanation for why Akon City will never happen? I think we all know just by looking at the design blueprints there. Like, come on.
Building has like futuristic curvatures outside. It definitely looks like something out of Wakanda, but only one building so far.
Whoa, what was this? Wait, what? This is there right now. Also, you should probably have someone else come in and do the artwork on the side of your building. Why? That looks like extremely low poly. It's like a PS1 render of Akon. You could definitely find a better artist for that. In March 2022, Stevens asked a judge to freeze Akon's New York assets, claiming that without the measure, Akon would have difficulty repaying an alleged debt. Stevens' lawyer, Jeffrey Movitt, alleged in his affidavit that Akon City and Akon exhibited many of the trademark characteristics of a fraudulent business venture such as Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes. Akon City was likely a scam. Akon denied the allegations about Akon City. The following month he paid $850K to settle part of the ongoing lawsuit. He said the motion to freeze his accounts has been made out of spite. I mean, likely a scam is very generous. It is 100% a scam. In every possible version of the word. It is official. That's the only thing they've built at Akon City. It's just a welcome center with his face on it. Well, why can't I... Does anyone ever pay a visit to the welcome center? I want to see it. I know there's been an overwhelming amount of bad news recently, and I figured when it rains it pours, it's best just to give you even more right now. It's official. Akon City has been scrapped. I'm as shocked as you are. I'm as disappointed as you are. Angry, sad, inconsolable, even. Akon City was set to be like one of the great wonders of the world. It was going to drag us kicking and screaming into the next age of humanity. It was a multi-billion-dollar project from Akon, Mr. Lonely himself. The city had breathtaking renders for its unique architecture that all looked like fucking barnacles. And it was even going to be powered by its own cryptocurrency, Akon. I don't know about you, but I was scratching at my neck, just itching to convert all of my money to Akon. But unfortunately, it looks like we're never going to get to experience this utopia. I covered this in a video like a year ago, but in a nutshell, Akon pitched Senegal on this big project, multi-billion dollar, he hyped it up, really just breathed a bunch of fucking baloney into it about... Oh man, it's so absurd that it actually just put some fucking dirt in my throat and made me cough. But he pitched them on this idea, they bought into it, and it went nowhere. And it never really even stood a chance. He wanted to mint a fucking city on the blockchain, basically. And all of his design documents were the most outlandish load of hogwash I've ever seen. We'll go over that in a moment. His renders are actual cinema. It's been many years since Akon was supposed to get all of this in motion. It was a $6 billion real-life Wakanda powered by Akon, but the property got stuck in limbo, and after all these years, the only thing that's been built is a welcome center. Akon was warned in 2024 that failure to meet deadlines and payment schedules to Sapco would result in the forfeit of the property. And that's exactly what happened. Akon continued to stall, and now the land has returned to the state, so they're going to be prioritizing a tourism project instead. So RIP to Akon City, but let's not forget the memories we made along the way. Take a peek at what this could have looked like. So here's the entertainment district. What are these? These aren't even buildings. This looks like when you go into Roller Coaster Tycoon and fuck up the terrain. It's even bad CG. Yeah. It's melted. Yeah, I guess their chief architect is Salvador Dali. Brought him back with the Akon City in-house necromancer. The Tech District? What does this mean? Tech 003421? What tech what? What is the tech? What are they doing here? Lex Luthor live here or something? Butt Plug City. Yeah. This is the police station here. They inhabit this pack of hot dogs. Here's the fire department, which is conveniently placed in the worst possible position for them to get anywhere, because they're gonna have to navigate this minefield, this fucking labyrinth. Good luck having a quick response time from the firefighters. Osmosis Jones type landscape. Bro modeled the city from the mitochondria. Oh, here, Akon Tower. He's even got his own, like, Avengers building. So this is where Akon lives, and only Akon. The whole city's design documents look like Spy Kids 3D when they go into the game. Like, there is no sane architect that ever signed off on these. I have half a mind to think that Akon just went to Fiverr and went to a 3D modeler and said, make me like a wacky theme park, and then he just tried to parade it around as like his blueprints for Akon City. Now, as mentioned, none of this ever got built. Nothing ever even got close to getting built. The only thing that currently exists where Akon City was supposed to triumphantly stand is a welcome center. And it is a really interesting looking welcome center at that. A YouTuber actually recently went and did a video on this whole thing. It's a great video, and I just want to show you a quick clip from when they go to the welcome center and one incomplete building that started, stopped, and is just stuck in purgatory.
On getting here, I was welcomed by this building with a graffiti written Akon City boldly on the wall. This is nothing futuristic like I saw in the CGI.
So we're approaching Akon City, as you can see. That is Akon, and it says Akon City.
The best city. You have to go, guys. You have to do it.
Alright, we're almost close. That's Akon City over there.
We drove inside the city, and this was all I saw.
This right here is the only building that has been built in Akon City.
Although this building looks futuristic, but this project is looking like a disappointment.
That's as far as Akon City ever got. A welcome center with some really interesting graffiti on it, and that one weird, incomplete building. I don't exactly know what that building is supposed to be based on the design documents that Akon has shown us. Maybe that's one of the Tech 002 buildings. It could even potentially be the fire department. I can't tell. You know, it's not as recognizable in that state as it was in the Second Life montage that he made of buildings. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this and let you all know the bad news that Akon City does seem to be dead. It's actually really fucking sad. Not that Akon City failed, that was always going to fail. This very clearly had all the makings of a scam. Like, that's what it seems like was the goal the whole time here from Akon. That's how it comes across. Because this is actual fucking horseradish. It's sad because he just clearly came in here with no real plan and seems to have just wanted to exploit the people here. And that kind of shit just sucks. So, yeah, anyway, just wanted to give you the update on Akon City. That's about it. So, yep. I've made a ton of videos making fun of those alpha male boot camps that charge desperate, gullible men tens of thousands of dollars to attend a course where they just get sprayed with a hose for 3 days and spit on and yelled at and get absolutely nothing of value out of it. And today I was made aware that there's a similar course for women. It's not exactly the same, but it's somewhat adjacent. It's not an alpha female course per se. You pay $2,000 to $4,000 to swing a stick in a forest while screaming. And it's supposed to be like this emotional release for things that are enraging you.
Would you pay $4,000 to swing big sticks and scream in the woods with the aim of releasing your anger?
Obviously, there's only one right answer to that question. Any sensible person on the planet would say, absolutely yes. It's more than worth it to go pay $2,000 to $4,000 to swing a fucking stick. Sign me up. I'm ready. That's something I can't do for free. Where am I gonna find a stick?
It is imperative that we allow ourselves safe spaces to release this fiery, hot emotion from within us.
So it's called the Rage Ritual Retreat.
If you want a healthy way of releasing all of your anger just to scream, shout, let it all out, solo queue and Rainbow Six Siege. I guarantee after your second game you won't have a voice left because you'd be too busy yelling at your fucking teammates who are lobotomites. Now, dropping the sarcasm, this is just a blatant scam. Charging people up to $4,000 to swing a stick while yelling? I couldn't imagine a worse use of your money. You would get more value out of using $4,000 as toilet paper. I would actually say that is a better use of those dollar bills as opposed to spending them on this con artist. Like, there's not even an overhead cost here. It's like genius from the scammer's perspective. All you do is just go into a forest and give them sticks and tell them to yell. One of their big selling points, at least from what I can tell, is that this is a safe space to do it in, a controlled environment where there's going to be no judgment and no one's going to hear you. Bah humbug, what a load of fucking horseradish. It's not like the lead lady here who you're about to meet surveyed the entire area within 3 miles to ensure that it's a closed set that no one's going to infiltrate. There's definitely going to be some hikers that might hear you, or some wildlife that's going to be startled and maybe you get charged by a bear who's confused or something. Like, it's not like this is some kind of environment she controls. All she did is get a class together and charge them thousands of dollars to swing sticks together. Something that you can do for free right now. And in fact, I will. I'm going to release my rage at seeing this blatant scam and people's willingness to just spend tons of money on absolute fucking nothing. But I don't have a stick, so instead I'm using this bold and brash picture.
And the founder's name is Mia, and she describes herself as a spiritual fairy godmother and is known online as Mia Magic.
You're gonna need big sticks.
Right now I feel angry, right now I feel frustrated. Everything, whatever you're feeling, let it out, express yourself.
Basically paying thousands of dollars for a guided anti-meditation class. So you visualize something you don't like. So for me, I've got a big mental image of James Corden. Grr, I'm gritting my teeth. I gotta let all this anger out. Where's my stick? And then spiritual fairy godmother gives you permission to start yelling while hitting the ground with a stick till your arms give out. It's an actual caveman course. The lady behind it is a self-proclaimed mystic whose supernatural ability is getting middle-aged women to empty their piggy banks for her. And her rage ritual she describes as, when people do this and give themselves permission to release their anger, their capacity for joy actually expands. which is a bunch of fucking mumbo jumbo. Like, this gobbledygook is something you see in every angle of these scams. Like, alpha male boot camps do the same thing. Right now, you're a broken man and only we can fix you because we're gonna give you the capacity for success. So give us $18,000 so we can stick this hose up your ass. They're able to feel more happiness and pleasure, and they go home to their families with more gratitude and ease and peace. That's like the same goofy logic in the Purge movies. Alright, we're gonna make murder legal for one day so that way you can get it all out of your system and you won't want to murder anyone else for the entire 364 other days. This is like that same thought process. Alright, we're gonna go to the rage retreat for a little while and you can scream a lot while swinging a stick, so when you go home you're gonna be so much more peaceful and you won't have any rage left and you won't get angry again. As I've said in some of the alpha male courses where they have you scream into the instructor's bosom, literally just motorboating a dude's chest while screaming, I have said that it is definitely relieving to yell. Just have this big emotional dump. Ah! It feels great sometimes just to let it all out. I get it. And you know what the beauty of that is? It's free. You shouldn't be paying thousands of fucking dollars to do that. You can do it now. And I guess I should mention that she does have another more financially viable option where it's a one-day ticket at $222 per person. Now, just to put that in perspective, for 222 clams, you can just go to a fucking smash room right now, get yourself a sledgehammer or a baseball bat or your medieval weapon of choice, and just start breaking shit while yelling and screaming. That is like a full-body release. It's very emotional if you want it to be, I guess. It's significantly cheaper, you're not getting scammed, and you get to have fun with it. Why not just do a smash room? Like, this has no advantages at all except you go into a forest for it, which doesn't do anything. And it's not even like she's trying to sell it as that, like, oh, it improves your connection to nature through like this, you know, chakra realignment with the Earth's magnetic crust. Like, she's not even trying any of those weird angles that we see a lot. She is literally just saying, hey, come swing a stick and yell. Well, then let me cosplay as your financial advisor real quick. Save yourself the doubloons and go to a smash room right now if you think this is something that's going to help you feel better and like let off some steam. Go to a smash room, save yourselves a lot of money, and bust up a car, destroy a toaster, fucking, I don't know, blast an old kitchen sink, whatever they have there, and start yelling and screaming, get real primal and guttural with it. Like, there is no reason anyone should be paying thousands of dollars or even the couple hundred dollars to do this rage retreat. It's just a scam.
Now, participants are encouraged to scream, to think of people and experiences that have wronged them, and swing big sticks for up to 20 minutes or until they can no longer move their arms as a way to release their emotions.
This is a place where we get to go full out without any feeling of restriction.
Hey, it's me, Charles, again, your spiritual Gary Godfather, your spiritual fairy godfather here. Just go to a smash room instead. You don't have to pay me for this advice here. Wish granted. You want to blow off some steam and scream and swing a stick? Go to a smash room. It's not nearly as much money as this. Okay, fairy godfather out. Poof.
Who has made me angry? Who has hurt me? Who has broken me? Who has cut me down?
Now, the rage rituals go down in the forest so that they don't have to worry about bothering people nearby. And if you're thinking of joining a rage ritual, the packages range from $2,000 to $4,000. And you know people online are sharing their thoughts on this creative therapeutic outlet. One user said, where is this? Asking for a friend.
This has nothing to do with the rage ritual anymore, but the video that I was linked here, I just find it very interesting, the comments they pick out. So that one right there, that has no updates at all. That seems like a comment production might have left there just to seed something in here that's positive. Somehow they only found positive comments when I know people would be clowning on this. 100%. I know for a fact they are because I looked at other uploads and most of the comments are laughing at it. Yet somehow they found the only 3 positive comments buried deep within there. I just thought that was kind of interesting to point out.
And this user said, I want in, while this user said, I wish women would just take their rage out on the people that are enraging them. These rituals are like a bandage for a bleeding wound. Now, Mia Magic said the next retreat will be in August and the location will be in France. So BG Squad, how do you feel about this rage ritual? And are you thinking of going to one too? Share your thoughts in the comments.
I hope you don't mind if I share my thoughts in this video. I will not be attending. And I encourage everybody else to do the same. Please stop paying thousands of dollars for things you can do yourself for free. You are getting absolutely nothing of value out of this, except I guess if you wanted to go to France. I mean, I guess if you want to take a vacation to France. but it seems like all you do there is go to France and swing a stick in the forests. Basically, what you're doing is you're paying for this lady's vacation spots. That's more what it seems like to me. She's like, oh yeah, this one's gonna be in France because you're able to scream louder there, and like the forests are super isolated and serene. So yeah, this next one's gonna be in France. It's $4,000, by the way. Like, it seems like all you're doing is financing her traveling. Like, that's what the impression I get. There's no reason that it needs to go overseas. You can do this in any fucking forest ever. It's just so obviously a scam, taking advantage of gullible people. It's so fucking ridiculous, but that's just kind of the day and age. People are more than willing to just part with tons and tons of money for absolutely no reason at all. But yeah, I want to talk about this a little bit. That's it. See ya. I have covered so many scams on my channel for well over a decade now, and I'm not pulling your leg or exaggerating when I tell you that the one I'm about to go over I find to be the most ridiculous yet. Not in terms of how intricate or in-depth the scam is. It's not some galaxy brain supervillain scheme. It's your standard, classic, pump-and-dump cryptocurrency hogwash. However, it was run by an online pastor and his wife, and they brought in over $3 million and personally pocketed over $1 million into their own little piggy bank. And basically, they led their followers to believe that God would make them extremely wealthy if they put their money into Index Coin, which was their cryptocurrency. I've mentioned this before, but I used to be extraordinarily religious. I actually got baptized twice because I was concerned the Lord might have missed my first baptism. You know, maybe he slept in and didn't get to see it, so I wanted to make sure to do it again just in case. I feel like I can say on good authority that this is just downright blasphemous. That is usually something attributed to the work of the devil, where you sell your soul to the devil in exchange for wealth. That's not something God would ever really say, like, hey, put money into crypto and I'll make sure that it 10x's to the moon. It's a good one, trust me. So the pastor and his wife are facing fraud charges for this, and he released a 9-minute response video. And I don't know how he was able to record that whole video without getting smited, because the shit he says in there is just diabolical. I'm not kidding. He says God told him to do this. He says that God was the puppet master behind all of it, instructed him to do this. Basically, he's just blaming the big man upstairs for this whole hoopla, fundamentally saying that the Lord forced him to scam Christians, like when you really boil it down. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Mudahar just made a video going more in depth on the particulars of the scam itself, so if you want more information on exactly what happened in that regard, check out some Ordinary Gamers video on it. I'm here to focus on the absurdity of it and the response video that he released, because hooey, it is wacky. Someone by the name of Molly White gave us all a blessing of a nice, concise supercut that breaks down the 9-minute video into just the most important moments that he talks about. So that's what we're going to be watching as opposed to the whole thing.
Caitlin and I are being charged in a civil charge from the Colorado Securities and Exchange Commission for basically selling millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency that is deemed worthless by the state.
And by everyone else in the world with eyes. So he's trying to cushion it a little bit, like it's a civil lawsuit for all of this, and it's deemed worthless by the state, but it is worthless, completely, by every possible definition ever. It is worthless. This was, from the get-go, it seems, designed to just make them a lot of money and fuck a lot of the followers in the ass. So there's a lot of people that lost a lot of money on this. And now they're looking at some repercussions, and this is his attempt to try and spin himself as kind of the victim here.
Now, the reason that they're saying that it's worthless is because there is no exit for people who have bought.
Do you know what we call that? A scam. Basically, people who bought in can't exit. Their money is now stuck there. But you know who could exit? The pastor and his wife. Oh, and they did. They made off like bandits with over $1.3 million.
We launched an exchange, the exchange technology failed, things went downhill, and from that point forward, we've just been waiting on the Lord literally for a miracle. So the charges are that Caitlin and I pocketed $1.3 million, and I just want to come out and say that those charges are true. So there's been $1.3 million that's been taken out of, I think it was a total of $3.4 million. But out of that 1.3, $500,000 went to the IRS, and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Go ahead and rewind it if you're still in disbelief. He said that a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told them to do. What an insightful conversation that must have been with God. I had no idea God was so into interior design. Like, not many people get that privilege of being able to speak to him directly. I love to imagine that. Pastor Eli just hanging out one day and God gets him on the horn, rings him up, and he's like, "Hey, Eli, buddy, listen. Your house is atrocious. Am I a joke to you? You worship me in a place that looks like this? It's embarrassing. It's revolting. Listen here. Allocate a few $100,000, upgrade this bitch ASAP, so that way you can start worshiping in style, because this is not what Christianity is about. You're living in a goddamn crack shack, and we've got to fix that ASAP, okay? All right, this is the Almighty signing out. Amen." Saddest part is, this strategy actually works. This is an extremely effective tactic used by a lot of really corrupt, evil pastors, most notably Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland has private jets. And when asked about it, he defends it by saying that God wants him to. There's also another pastor, I forgot his name, but he's a friend of Kenneth Copeland's. The two of them are like these demonic leeches that feed off of each other's wealth. And they both have private jets, and basically said that God needs them in a private jet because it brings them closer to him. And if I remember correctly, they were even quoted saying that they can't be caught in a tube with demons, so they need the privacy of the jet to be more spiritually attuned with God. That's how they justify this luxurious lifestyle they live, which of course runs counter to the actual lessons of Christianity, but for some reason they keep getting away with it. Even in this case, Pastor Eli is receiving a lot of support from the people that he has directly scammed and openly admitting to scamming.
So how this whole thing started is the Lord told us in 21 to walk away from our marketing company, and he said, "I'm going to do a new thing." And then he took us into this cryptocurrency. It was a different cryptocurrency other than index coin at the time. Well, that cryptocurrency turned out to be a scam.
Oh my goodness, he's portraying the Lord as like a reckless investor here, a crypto bro. How many NFTs does God have, you think? How many Bored Apes does he own? Also, Pastor Eli and God must be like this. They must be tight, because they are constantly talking, so much so that the Lord tries to pitch him on cryptocurrency. Like, "Hey, bud, brother, take a peek at this thing. Have you ever heard of cryptocurrency? It uses this holy technology called the blockchain. We should check this out. You should look into this a little bit, Eli." And then, like, the first coin that God leads him down the path of is a scam. He even just openly says it right there. So, like, the first coin, you know, right after going down the spiritual journey with God, it was a scam. How anyone can hear this senseless drivel, this gobbledygook from Pastor Eli and actually take it seriously and believe it is beyond me. But let's play ball with it for a second. God is the creator, and he's omniscient. And yet somehow he fell victim to a cryptocurrency scam? In his infinite wisdom and knowledge, even he was bested by the cryptocurrency menace. What hope do we have? I can only imagine the white paper on that first cryptocurrency that Eli and God went halvesies on there. That must have been the most convincing thing ever, if it was enough to convince the Lord that it was real.
And so the Lord says, give that to them, but also give them a 10x. And I'm like, well, where's this liquidity going to come from? And the Lord says, trust me. Well, as money is coming in, we would be sowing it. And at first it was hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars, then tens of thousands of dollars.
What is God cooking here? It's like a multi-level marketing scheme. He's about to start running a Ponzi scheme or something here. What? He actually hit Pastor Eli with the trust me bro there on where the liquidity comes from? Interesting. Maybe Pastor Eli is innocent after all. It's so... Obviously dropping the sarcasm here for a second. It is crazy to me that someone like Pastor Eli Regalado, or however you say his last name, is actually trying this right now, and that it's actually working. That's the saddest fucking part. I'm gonna skip ahead real quick here. I was going to save these screenshots till after I finish the response, but it just feels natural to put them in right now. Here's some of the responses that he's received from people in the community. What a crazy ride, Eli. I can't imagine what you guys are going through. Prayers going up. What about the crazy ride that all of the victims are going through with over $3 million stolen from them in this scam? Why are your prayers going to Eli, who made off with over $1 million here? Those prayers aren't even falling on deaf ears. Pastor Eli actively uses prayers as toilet paper to wipe his ass with. This guy took the prayers of hundreds of people that were praying for a miracle, a financial miracle, and completely trashed them. Someone said, standing with you, and then someone else said, unending support. Why? Why are you standing with him? He is openly admitting to a scam. Why are you supporting him endlessly? He is openly admitting to a scam. He doesn't even have the courtesy to take responsibility for his own actions here. He is blaming God, which is like the worst thing you can do in Christianity, to blame God for the evils you have committed. So sorry for stress you passed through. God has the plan for you and your team. He will lead you through to the success of this project. And Eli just says, yes. The project is dead, much like the bank accounts for many of the vulnerable people that Eli exploited here. What do you mean you're sorry for his stress? What about the stress of the actual victims? Someone else says, stay in the boat, trust in the Lord, and stop looking at the storm. Amen, Sean. What do you mean, stay in the boat? The boat has capsized. There was no boat. It was a fucking yacht that Eli was buying with the money that he scammed from you and people like you. What do you mean? This is not God's plan. Thanks for the update. No one can close a door the Lord has opened. This is not a door the Lord has opened. This is a door Eli kicked open into fraudulent activity, taking advantage of a ton of people that were vulnerable. And Eli says, Isaiah 22:22, brother, thanks for standing and encouraging us through all of it. Of course, everybody is familiar with Isaiah 22:22. It's one of the most famous sermons. It's the excerpt that states, buy low, sell high. These are just a few examples of people still supporting him. It's just this perception that pastors are infallible, and that if you don't support a pastor, that might be sinful on you. It's not. This guy is openly admitting to his scam that he and his wife ran, and he is blaming God for it. That is as sinful as it gets. It is ridiculous to try and paint him as a victim or something like that. It's so unreal.
Money would come in, we tithe, we sow, more money would come in. And so we were just always under the impression that God was going to provide, that the source was never ending, that God was doing a new thing, and that we had nothing to worry about. And we sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. We did. We took God at his word and sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. And so the prosecutors have to take that and say, these people willingly sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. What we're praying for and what we're believing for still is that God is going to do a miracle. God is going to work a miracle in the financial sector.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil how this anime ends. There's not going to be a miracle in the financial sector. This is a bunch of baloney. He and his wife are scammers, and they have used Christianity and God's name in vain here in order to pocket an outrageous amount of wealth for themselves. I feel bad for the victims here because I have no doubt that they're on the older side of things, at least judging by some of the comments I've read, so probably had no clue what cryptocurrency was and just trusted the pastor at his word that God was helping and steering this in the right direction. It would help improve their financial security. I imagine a lot of them were probably desperate, especially given the current climate of things right now. There's a lot of people struggling. So hearing something like this from someone you trust, a pastor, who's saying like, put money in here and the Lord will provide and help you out when you need it most. A lot of people would likely buy into that, and they clearly did, and now they're fucking ruined for it. And meanwhile, this guy and his wife have made over $1 million from it and are still trying to spin this as though they're not evil when they are. This is a terrible, horrible thing to do, made even worse by the fact that he won't just own up to it and instead continues to blame God for it, and then still tries to sew in that like little bit of hope that, hey, maybe there'll be a miracle because God's on our side and helping us out. When that's not going to be the case, this was from the very get-go, it appears, a scam. So yeah, a pretty ridiculous situation here that I just had to talk about a little bit. It is foul. That's about it. So yeah.